Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy weekend. I got my little Bella. Say hi, Bella. I haven't been here in a minute again. Oh, my goodness. Hope everyone is well. Got my little Bella. Say hi, Bella. Say hi. She's so cute. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. Let's see if I can wait for a few people to jump on. Say hi. Say hi. She's so cute. All right. Well, I have my list as always. Hi, Michelle. Hi from Ireland. That's exciting. I'm glad you're here. Gosh, what time is it there? It must be pretty late. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what time it is there, but it must be pretty late. So hello. So it's almost into your Monday, I think, right? Oh, okay. So yeah. So that would be 11:56, 11:36. Okay. So almost bedtime. Well, I'm glad you're here. One of these days, I'm going to get to Ireland. I want to go to Ireland so bad. So bad. You guys just missed Bella. She was just up here. Hi, Carla. We're all doing really good here. I hope you guys are doing good. And I'm back. Here I am. Hi, Donna from New England. Thank you so much, Donna. It's good to see you guys. I hope how's everyone's weekend going? Everyone doing okay? I've got my list. And I actually did a like a pre-recorded video about the Karen Reed case. I had done one and I had forgotten about it. My daughter reminded me. Actually, let me text her and let her know I'm live. Although I don't know if I think she's at a friend's house. But I'm going to let her know. Oh, you're in Rhode Island. I'm so glad it was a nice weekend. Yeah, it's been pretty nice here. It rained a little bit yesterday, but I'd rather have rain than a drought. Your weekend is okay, and I bet that there is a lot of questions about Henry Cavill. My Cavalry. That's the name that everyone voted on most on my what's it called? The community tab, where you can ask a question, take a poll. So I took a poll and I listed some options about, what I should call my Henry Cavill fans. And the one that got the most votes was the Cavalry. So that's what I'm going to call you guys, the Cavalry. And yes, I always get questions about Henry Cavill. Yes, I do. My Cavalry, they got to know about Henry Cavill. So we are going to ask about him tonight. But I feel like I ask these questions all the time, but I keep getting more people asking questions about him. So it's raining with a thunderstorm here, and I like the name, the Cavalry. Yeah, we had thunderstorms yesterday. I wouldn't say thunderstorms. It was raining a lot. Just raining. It was like one of those gloomy days. Today was kind of sunny out, though. It's still sunny out there now. Yeah, that's the name that if you guys go on my channel and you see that under the community tab, let me see if I can pull it up. We are crazy about that man, Henry. Never seen a thing he has been in, but he kept coming up on my feed. Me, who the heck is this? I can't believe there's someone who actually doesn't know who Henry Cavill is. And on my last live, I don't know if you guys were on my last live, but once upon a time, I'm skipping subjects here. Once upon a time, way, way, way back when I first started doing my live streams, I was getting questions about Henry Cavill, and I had no idea who he was, but I did know who he was, but I didn't realize that I did. So I watched The Witcher, and then as soon as someone said he's the guy that plays The Witcher, then I was like, oh, okay, I know him. And then since then I've watched Superman and, so I know who he is now. But my last live stream, I was talking about Matt Bomer because my husband and I have been watching White Collar, and it's just this cute show. It's an older show. It's on Netflix, and I think it was from like 2009 to, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. So it's a little bit of an older show, but I was watching it and I'm like, first of all, that guy, Matt Bomer, is like Henry Cavill's twin. Like they could be twins, almost identical twins. I think Matt Bomer's a little prettier than Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's good looking, but I think Matt Bomer's a little prettier. And then I was just, then also I was thinking Matt Bomer kind of in some of the scenes kind of looked like Jim Carrey. And, just I think the way he was wearing his hair or whatever. But, and Matt Bomer, if you guys don't know, he was one of the dancers in Magic Mike. And I didn't realize that on my last live stream. Somebody was telling me that, he was in I think a couple of the Magic Mike movies. So he's a good looking man. So Henry Cavill is too, but I think Matt Bomer is, but it's crazy how similar they look to each other. Like they could really be twins. Yeah, I love fantasy. That's how The Witcher came up. Henry rolls, Matt, meh. I think on my good-looking meter, I'd have to say Matt Bomer. Henry is good-looking too, but that's just my preference, But that Matt Bomer, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I always get questions about Henry, and I don't know why. I don't know why my cavalry. The cavalry wants to know. Cavalry. They always want to know. Hi, Monique. You can find some facial analysis on Henry and Matt scores higher. Yeah. Well, I don't. Yes, he is, Donna. That's correct. But aren't most of the really super, super, super pretty ones gay? I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but Matt is a pretty man. Anyway, slightly higher. Yeah. Yeah, but they do look so much alike. But so anyway, that's what I'm calling you guys from now on, is the cavalry. Because that's what was the video that was voted the most on my poll that I had on my channel. So I'm calling you guys the cavalry. So anyway, I did a pre-recorded video, and so I totally got off track. Karen Reed, have you guys heard about that story? I'm not going to go into it on this video because I just did a full video that I'm editing, and I'll probably hopefully be uploading that tonight. You bet he is pretty. Henry is really masculine. Call me whatever. It works for me. Yeah. They're both, they're both, they're both good looking. So Karen Reed. So I had done, apparently I did a video on one of my live streams. I asked about Karen Reed last October, and I didn't remember that I did. So I was telling my daughter, I'm like, yeah, I think I might, you know, ask some questions about the Karen Reed trial and case and all that. And she's like, you already did that. So I had to search, and I found it was one of my live streams from last October. So what I did was I kind of pieced them together. I asked an additional question today, and I spliced that together with the one from October. So I'm going to be uploading that, I don't know, hopefully tonight. But that's a wild ride, that case, boy. All right, Cavalry. Are we ready? Are we ready for some Henry Cavill questions? I feel like I don't even understand how we have so many questions about Henry, but we do. I that's what I get the most of is questions on Henry. Yes, you're ready, Carla. All right. So one of the questions, isn't Karen Reed the trial going on in Massachusetts? Didn't she run over her boyfriend? Yeah. Well, so that's what the trial is about, right? Did she do it or didn't she do it? So yeah. Crazy, insane case. And I got some really, really interesting things on that case. So, make sure your notifications are on, because when I upload that, if you're interested in that case, you probably want to watch it. I was just like, what is happening? It just dark energy is what's happening with that case. So, all right, here we go. Where's my cavalry? Cavalry's like a tongue twister for me, but that's what you guys picked. So that's what we're going to go with. So one of the questions about Henry Cavill, cavalry, one of the questions that I got asked on one of my comments on one of my live streams was, apparently, and I haven't seen it, but apparently there's a new trailer out for the new season that's going to be coming out for The Witcher, and it shows Liam Hemsworth in the trailer. Obviously he's going to be the new Witcher, right? So someone asked, how does Henry feel about, they literally asked, how does he feel about that trailer that's out with Liam Hemsworth in it? So I don't know that I want to ask just how does he feel about the trailer. I think I want to ask, how does he feel about no longer being on The Witcher and having Liam Hemsworth, replace him? So I think that's what I'm going to ask. So let's see, Calvary. I mean, the energy that I'm getting is, I don't know that I don't know that I feel any super strong feelings about that coming from him. He goes back and forth. Henry goes back and forth. So what I'm getting is that he sometimes feels defeated, and this would be like loss, like grieving, like I've lost something. So he does sometimes feel that, but then other times he feels like, you know, I'm going to go and do other things and, onward and upward, right? So I think, and then here he's fine with it. So he goes back and forth. I think when this first happened, I think or specifically when the trailer came out, I think he was like, it kind of caught him off guard. And then he was like, that's when I saw him feeling, um, you know, a little like it stung a little bit, but and it's saying he goes back and forth, but really, I think he's for the most part, okay. I think he's okay. Um, he's thinking that, yes, I'm going to miss it, but that was one portion of my life. I did it and it was great. And now I'm going to move on to some other things that are better. And he does think that I think he's actually got some things in the works that are projects that are maybe being talked about that he's excited about. So, I don't know. He goes back and forth. He's a little sad, but then he's okay. So, he's back and forth. I mean, I suppose you could say that anytime anyone makes a big, I guess, like a life change, because he did that for several seasons. I don't remember how many seasons. Was it 3 seasons that he was on The Witcher? So it's like a loss. He's got to get past that, and now somebody else is doing it, and whatever. But at the end of the day, I think he's really okay. He's going to be okay from leaving that. He took the double hit that week with corn sweet in the soup suit too. I'm not sure what that means, Monique. I don't know what that is. Um, I don't know what corn sweet in the soups is. And I don't know. Maybe let me know what that is. So I think he's going to be okay. He's up and down. He's up and down. So you know he's okay. I think it's like anybody who is leaving something. It's that bittersweet, right? You're kind of excited to see where you go. My hair keeps going in my eye, and I feel like there's this stray hair that keeps like coming out. I think it's bittersweet. I think he was really happy doing The Witcher. I think he enjoyed it. Um, but he's ready to move on. Henry lost the role of Superman to David Cornsweet. Oh, they released a pic of him in the new Superman suit. Oh, that I didn't know. I'm going to look him up. I don't know who this is. Let me see. Yeah, I did on one of my lives way back, months and months and months ago. I don't remember which one it was, but I did ask about that whole thing, what happened with, him being told verbally that he was going to be in another Superman movie. So then he gave his official notice to the people for The Witcher that he couldn't do it because he was going to be doing Superman. And then after he did that with The Witcher, then they came out and said, no, we're going to go with somebody younger. So I did do that. I don't remember which video it was on, but let me look up this. What was his name? David Cornsweet. That's an interesting last name. Oh. I don't particularly think he's that good looking. This, no offense. But to be a Superman, I don't know. The Timo Wish version of Henry. Yeah, Henry's way better looking than this guy. This guy's okay. He's okay. I don't know. He's okay. It does look like he has blue eyes too. Wait, what color are Henry's eyes? See, I keep going back to Matt Bomer. Matt Bomer's eyes. Anyway, yeah, this guy's okay. I don't know. Maybe he's a good actor. I've never seen him in anything. Never heard the name, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because I don't hear about a lot. You know, a lot of people I don't know who they are, but he's okay. I think Henry is much better looking. Much better looking. Blue with brown spots. Henry's eyes. Okay, that's interesting. Heterochromia. I'm not. Is that what the eye thing is? I don't know who any of them are. Henry was treated like crap. Henry is Superman all day long. I love Christopher Reeves and Superman. Yes. Well, yeah. Henry is definitely a fantastic Superman. Christopher Reeves. That's coming, I'm dating myself, but that's from my, timeline. That's when I watched the Superman movies, it was with Christopher Reeves. And I so it was hard for me to even see Henry Cavill or anyone as Superman because I was so used to thinking of Christopher Reeves as Superman. But Henry Cavill did make a good Superman. I mean, I did watch, I think it was called Man of Steel or something, and I did watch it, and it was pretty good. I liked it. That's how long ago I stopped watching movies. Yeah, I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I have like some creators that I watch, and Court TV and whatever. I watch a lot of true crime stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I do watch some shows. Like I said, I'm still watching White Collar with Matt Bomer. Oh my goodness. Anyway. All right. What else I don't know. I'm going to ask this again. I feel like I've asked it so many times, but I'll ask it again. You're going to watch him in Man of Steel. Maybe, is that what I said that the movie was? I think it was called Man of Steel. That was pretty good. I have to say that. Here I go with this little hair again. I can't get it out of my eye. All right. So what someone else, I think a couple people asked this is they wanted an update on the energy between Henry and Natalie. So I'll do an update. on the energy between Henry and Natalie. See where their energy is at today. Let's see. It looks like has Henry been doing some traveling? Maybe to premieres or something. It looks like he's been doing some traveling. Well, rumor is he asked for the DNA test and she balked, which means he may not be the baby daddy. Well, I saw that, Monique. I did ask about that on a previous live video. Not that long ago. I feel like within the last couple live videos. Yeah, and I did ask about that, Carla. I did ask about the like, I feel like I ask all these questions, like, repeatedly, but I did ask all of that on just recent, maybe 2 live videos ago. Maybe it was the last one, I can't remember. But I did ask about that. But for today, when I ask, what's an update on the energy between Henry and Natalie? I mean, what I'm not seeing here is any of my cards that I would like to see for true love, or I want. This hair is driving me insane. I'm not seeing the love cards coming up for them. So that's not here at all. So the energy between them, I'm still getting the same thing. So I don't care how they talk in public, to the press, to interviews. I don't care. I've always seen the same thing. I don't get that there's any major love between them. I just don't get it. I get that she, allegedly, Natalie, is trying really, really, really hard to keep this relationship going, to keep it good. I mean, especially if she's pregnant, right? Hi, Deborah. I'm well. How are you? I think Natalie's trying really hard to keep it in a good place, or to maybe get it back to a good place or something like that. But you know, fighting, arguments, talk about splitting. I love your sunflower. See, I got my sunflowers. Um, yeah, no, I don't think they were either, Monique. But so I'm still getting the same thing. But I think there's been serious conversation. I've already asked that too, Deborah. All of your questions I've asked on. I think it was either the last live, or maybe it was one of my latest live streams. I asked about these questions. Um, yes. Well, I agree, Donna. I agree. That's exactly right. That's how I feel too. So I think there's already been, talks of maybe splitting. There's a lot of fighting going on. It's, you know, it's just not. I just don't. It's your birth mom. It's your birth month flower. That's nice. I love sunflowers. I just don't get that I'm still, you know what? I still see the same darn thing every single time I ask about these two. I see the same thing. It never changes. So, and again, I'm not seeing any love cards here at all. I think this is Henry. I think he's, um, trying to, either he's negotiating a new project, or maybe they've just started filming, or I'm not sure. Maybe they just signed the contract. I don't know. But there's definitely a new project for him. Hi, Anna. Good night from Madrid, Spain. Oh, welcome. I don't know what time it is there, but I'm glad you're here. So I do think Henry is working on a new, I don't know, project, a new, or negotiating it. Maybe he's in. Let me see. Is he in the negotiation phase? Let's see. Might be in talks. That's kind of what I'm picking up. I'm picking up he might be in talks, or they're in the negotiation phase of, like a new potential new project for him. He is getting ready to do the Highlander movie. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Is that definite? Is he definitely gonna be in that movie? Um, Probably prepping for Highlander. Okay, well then that's what it is. So I get a lot of travel with him, and I don't know where they film the Highlander. I don't know if it's in the States or if it's gonna be, you know, another country. Lots of sword training, choreography. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I just get him involved. That's where his focus is really. Um, is on whatever this new job, new project, whatever that is. That's kind of where his focus is. Um, oh, it's they film it in Scotland. Okay, that's got to be beautiful there. Oh, he's also doing Warhammer 40,000 film and TV series. Oh, see, I this is when you guys are mentioning this, it's kind of getting familiar to me. Like I can kind of remember vaguely, but I don't know if it's is it for real that he is actually going to be in Warhammer or Highlander. Um, it regardless, I just see him doing a lot. I got to take my thing off. It's really hot. I just see him. Warhammer 40K rumors are falling apart. Yeah, Natalie is a very dark person, allegedly. Um, and you know, I've talked about that so many times on past um, live streams too. So, and if you go back, who was that asked that? Who was that asked that? Um, Donna. So Donna, if you go back and look up my live video, so when you are on my channel, go to the tab that says live, or you can go under the Henry Cavill. I have a playlist of Henry Cavill. You can go on there too, and just look at the last say 2 or 3. Well, and even more than that. I mean, I've done so many things. I've asked about him so many times on live streams. But yeah, Natalie is allegedly very very dark, a very dark energy. Selenite. I'm going to put that in my lap. So we're talking about Natalie has a very heavy and dark energy. Yeah. Amazon and Games Workshop can't agree. Oh, Amazon and Games Workshop. What does Amazon have to do with it? That's weird. Okay. I mean, well, I guess there's Amazon Prime. I don't know. I mean, Amazon is a big, that's a big player, right? Amazon producing. Yeah. Yeah. Amazon, they're up there like, Google, Microsoft, Apple, that's a heavy hitter for sure. So the costume she wore to some premiere where she is basically naked on top, not cool. Yeah, was that the one that when she went to oh my God, was it Korea? Is that the one you're talking about? Games Workshop owns the intellectual property. South Korea, yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's ridiculous. She's ridiculous. Honest to God. That's that dark energy. What are you going to do? You just hope that it's a Christian country. The Argo premiere in South Korea. That's right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, she's just ridiculous, isn't she? All right. Another question that I had on one of the comments, and I'm sure that I've asked this before, probably multiple times, but I'm going to ask it again. Will Henry and Natalie get married to each other? Natalie does those stunts for attention. Yeah, she just is dark. That's it. She's just dark. So let's ask if Henry and Natalie will get married to each other. To qualify that, because, if the baby is his, yes. Well, I don't get that it is. Allegedly, if he'd have wanted to marry her, they'd already be hitched. Yeah, I mean, I know Tauruses can move slow sometimes, but he's a Taurus. I know they can move slow sometimes. All right. Let's ask if they will ever get married to each other. I feel like I have to qualify that. I hate to say this, but he really, 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 really doesn't want to. He does not want to. It's just not good between them. And he just doesn't want to. However, he's going now. It could be because maybe Natalie just keeps refusing to get a paternity test. I don't know. He feels trapped. So, because of that, I'm going to say it's possible that they might get married. They might. It's not 100% for me, though. But I can tell you, I mean, everything I'm seeing here, he does not want to. I mean, look at this. He just does not want to. I think he might, only because he feels trapped. So the only reason I can think of for that is if Natalie does not get a paternity test. That would be the only thing I would think, that would make him consider it. But, he does not want, I don't know. I say I don't know why he stays, but I do know why he stays, because I've always seen, and this goes back to probably one of the first or second live streams where I did ask about Henry, so a while ago, that, she's into some dark magic, allegedly. And that's, that happens. So you kind of feel like you're stuck, right? You can't get out, I guess. Nat wants him to be trapped. Yeah. If he does, his new love will not be happy. Well, no, not at all. I mean, no, no, for sure not. He stays because he has low self-esteem and he is stubborn. I don't know if he has low self-esteem. He's definitely stubborn, but that's a Taurus, right? Tauruses are stubborn. I love all my Tauruses, but they can be stubborn. And Tauruses don't like change. They do better. They don't do well with change. They're more likely to stay somewhere that's comfortable because it's comfortable. So um, he does end body dysmorphia too. Really? I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm feeling. Let me focus on his energy. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But I'm not getting it's 100% that he feels low self-esteem. It's not 100%. There's hi Mamin. Nice to see you. Good evening from Spain. Welcome. I don't know that I feel that Henry is completely lacks self-esteem, because when I focus on his energy, I can feel some confidence there. I do feel some confidence. So maybe in certain circumstances, he may feel a little, I would imagine that anybody, it's human nature sometimes to feel maybe a lack of self-esteem in certain times of your life or certain situations that come up. So there is a little bit of that, but I'm not feeling that it's there, but I also have a confidence about him as well. I think he goes back and forth. He goes back and forth between that. Will Henry want to marry his new love? Well, I've already asked about that. He does. You're Anna Luna's sister. Nice to see you. If Henry feels trapped with Natalie, wouldn't he seek legal help to break free? Well, I don't think they're married. So they're not married, right? So I don't think he would need legal help in this situation, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like he would to get custody. Well, yes. She emmed her dog. Oh my God. Allegedly. I don't know if I knew that. Let's ask this. Let's ask. See, I'm trying to figure out how to ask what to ask exactly. I'm going to say it like this. If Henry and Natalie, I'm going to say if, but really it's when, because I don't know. If and when Henry and Natalie split up, would Henry fight for custody of the baby? Let's ask that. Yeah. Yep. I'm getting he would. See, clearly you don't call it cleaning. Let's pray for the man and this innocent baby. Supposedly he suffers from depression and anxiety. He doesn't have a choice. She doesn't work, doesn't have a home or money. If the child is his, however, if the child is not, That's Natalie's responsibility, not Henry. Well, yeah, true. So, but I'm wondering if there's a possibility that she won't get a paternity test, so then he won't have a definitive answer, right? So, but what I'm getting is if and when they do ever split up at some point at some future date, right? Would Henry actually fight for custody of the baby? Yes, and he would get it. He would get it. He would win. Um, here's the court documents. So, yeah, I do think he would. And if he did fight for custody, he would win. He would definitely win custody. But this is what he's got to go up against. And again, you know, I see this every time for Natalie, and I it's just little old me, right? So I don't, if Henry by chance ever sees my video, I've said this before, he needs to do clearing, and spiritual energy clearing is what he needs to do, because this is what he's dealing with. So, I mean, it's kind of a sad situation. He does need to strengthen his position, though. Well, yes, and he needs to do some energy clearing, because I think that part of what's going on is the dark magic allegedly is kind of keeping hold of him in this relationship, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I mean, that's what he really needs to do, because until he does that, this is going to kind of keep going and going and going until he can actually break that. Then he's kind of stuck in it. If he isn't the father, I suspect the actual father doesn't know he is the dad. Well, no, he wouldn't, right? She's not going to tell him. She's definitely not going to tell him. So, yeah. I wouldn't, she'd be stupid to do that. So, all right, Cavalry. Can we move off of Henry Cavill? I know it's y'all's favorite topic, but but I wanted to ask some other things too. So let's ask about a couple other things. So somebody asked if Bradley Cooper and Gigi Hadid would get married. So I'm going to just look this up really quick. Are they, let's see here. Huh. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just looking at a timeline. Now we're to February, March. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So what it's saying is that Bradley Cooper on May 25th took the stage, joining Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder for Maybe It's Time from his movie A Star Is Born. Later, he sang Neil Young's Rockin' in the Free World. Wow. Yeah. So I don't know. I was just looking up a timeline. So let's just ask if Bradley Cooper and Gigi are going to get married to each other. Let's ask. Hmm. Well, one thing it says about their relationship is that it's very, it's nice. It's a nice relationship and they feel comfortable with each other. This is Bradley Cooper and Gigi. They do feel comfortable with each other and it is a nice relationship. In a lot of ways, they feel like this is their person, they've not had this before. So in a lot of ways they do feel like that. I am getting a yes that I think they could end up getting married, but here's also what I'm getting. I'm I'm getting that this is more what I'm picking up like psychically and you know as a psychic medium, getting in the energy of them. I'm also getting that I think they're how do I say this? It's not that they don't care about each other. I think they do care a lot about each other. But I also feel that it's not they're how do I want to say it in a nice way? They're each one of them is thinking, "Oh my god, this is the one." But it's because the novelty hasn't quite worn off yet. So that's why they're kind of caught up in this, romance and love affair and so they think that this could be the one, but I think it's not because I'm seeing it at some point down the road. I think there will be some problems, and I think probably both of them are going to realize that this really wasn't what they thought it was. So if I were talking to Bradley Cooper or Gigi, I would say maybe take it slow. Um, don't rush it because you know give it some time before you make any decisions about that. And I do see them taking some time, but I don't know that. I think they're caught up in this whirlwind and not when that wears off, then I don't know if they're still going to feel the same way. I've been having River Phoenix coming into my head lately. Do you think his spirit is at peace? What a freaking tragedy that mess was. Yeah, that was really, really sad. Um, let's see. River he definitely still has some dark around him. So what I would say is maybe say some prayers to God or your angels or whatever, and just ask that God send River Phoenix some healing to try to get the negative off of him so that he can kind of move on from that. That's kind of what Hi Phyllis, how are you? That's kind of what I'm getting about River Phoenix, that he's still kind of, being held by some darker negative energy. So I would just say do some prayers for him. That's interesting that you're picking up on him though. That's really interesting. Maybe maybe he came to you knowing that you would be on my live stream so you could bring it up to me. I will, here, I'll ask God and my angels too to also send some healing to him to kind of help him to try to get out of this negative energy that he's in. You know, that was a whole sad story. Very sad. So many tragedies, especially when you're talking about Hollywood. It's just sad. All right, so let me delete that one. Okay, we asked about that. Asked about Henry. All right, so someone asked about William Levy, and Elizabeth Gutierrez. Let's see what's going on with that. It says they are separated. They have kids, but they never married. What's going to happen with them? Let me see here. Let me look, because I'm not even sure that I know who these people are. Levy, yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know that I know who these people are. They don't even really look familiar to me. The news of this was on May 1st. The news of their split comes 2 months after police were called to their Florida home. That's sad. Well, I still don't know who they are, but let's ask if, I think the person wanted to know if they would ever get back together. That's what I'm going to ask, because the person just simply said they're separated. What's going to happen with them? So let's just see if William and Elizabeth are going to get back together. And again, I don't really know who these people are. I don't recognize them, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't know who anybody is. Hi, Lynette. How are you? So let's ask William Levy and Elizabeth Gutierrez. Are we doing celebrity readings? I'm just asking because I came in late. We are. We just got done with. I'm really good. Thank you, Lynette. We just got done with Henry Cavill and Bradley Cooper. So now we're going to ask about William Levy and Elizabeth Gutierrez, and we're just going to ask and see if they will get back together with each other. I don't really know who they are, but let's see. Let's see if they will get at some point in time, make amends and get back together. Well, sadly, I don't think that William Levy and Elizabeth Gutierrez will get back together. I'm getting a no on that. And what it says is, I think one of them moved out of the home that they were all, I'm assuming that they all lived together. The two of them with their kids. I do see one of them already has moved out. And what it's saying is it really is probably the best that they split. So you never want to see somebody, it's sad when relationships don't work out. But I feel like in this particular case, I feel like it was probably the best for them under the circumstances for William and Elizabeth. I think it was probably the best thing to do for their relationship and their circumstances. So even though it's sad, I don't see them getting back together, but I actually feel like it's better. I think it's better that way. I'm loving all the yellow hearts and the sunflowers. You guys are putting in the chat. Love hearts, and I love the sunflowers. So yeah, I don't see William and Elizabeth getting back together, but I think in this case, it's for the best. I think it's the best thing for all of them. He has projects in Tenerife, Canary Islands. Interesting. Are you talking about William Levy? Again, I just don't know who they are. I really have never seen them. I don't recognize them. That doesn't mean anything. All right. Now, somebody also asked about. You're welcome, Donna. Okay. So somebody asked about, now I got to look up, and I think I asked about these guys before, Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. Someone asked, will they possibly reconcile in 4 to 6 months? So I'm just going to look here just to see if I can recognize who they are. First called off the relationship in November. Okay. Well, I mean, it does look like, all right. I don't know. Let's just ask if they will reconcile. You can talk about love. Who's your next crush? Who's my next crush? My husband. If you're asking me who's my next crush, that's my husband. Let's see. I want to know if Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton from Bridgerton are really in love because their chemistry looks too legit not to be fake. Either that or their PR team is really good. Okay, I don't know who they are either. But hold on, I'll ask about them too. Let's first ask about if Shawn Mendes and Camila will get back together. Let's ask. He's single. He's never married. Are we talking about he's single right now? Who? We're talking about so many people. I'm not really sure who you're talking about. They're on the newest season of, see, I've never watched Bridgerton on Netflix. I don't even know what that show's about. I've never heard of it, so I don't even know. So you're single. Well, okay. Then you can go hook up with whoever is single. I'm not sure who you guys are talking about. So let's ask if Shawn Mendes and Camila will ever get back together again. Well, I'm getting a yes. I didn't put a timing on this question, so I don't know how long, when this is going to happen. But I do get a yes that Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello will at some point get back together. However, right when I got that, I also heard, but it won't last. So I feel like they're a couple that is together. They break up for a little bit, take a break, and then they try getting back together. And then it doesn't work and they break up again and then take a break. And then I feel like that's how they operate. So yes, I do think that they will get back together at some point. But it's not for a while. It could be like this person asked in the comment, 4 to 6 months. It's not for a while yet. It still says it's a ways out. But I just feel them, it's like a back and forth, on again, off again. So I think even if they did get back together, I don't know that it would last. But I am seeing them getting back together. So I just feel like it's kind of a little bit of a toxic relationship. They're on again, off again. And then they take a break and then they try it again. Then they take a break and they try it again. And each time they break up, each one thinks, that's it. That's it. I'm done. But then some time goes by and they're like, oh, I missed you. Let's try again. So it's just on again, off again. All right. So let's ask about, I forget what the names were. Nicola. So I'm going to look these people up because I don't know who these people are either. Okay. Nicola. Coughlin and Luke Newton. Well, on May 1st, according to People magazine, they said that People confirmed that Coughlin and Newton are not seeing each other. They're not dating, but people don't always come out with that. So, and I don't recognize these guys either. So it may be because I have not seen that show. But let's ask. Let's ask if Nicola and Luke Newton, Nicola Coughlin and Luke Newton from Bridgerton. I'm totally reading blind because I don't know any of these people. So let's ask if they are currently seeing each other or if they ever will be in a romantic relationship with each other. Let's ask that. Yes, that is a mouthful, Donna. Yeah, I think that I don't think they are now. I don't think they are now seeing each other. However, I do think they will at some point. And whoever it was that said that their chemistry seems really great, spot on. Their chemistry is on fire. They really do have a lot of chemistry. And I think this actually could be a really nice relationship for both of them. If they both, decided to go that way. Right now, though, I think they're not doing anything now. And what I'm getting when I kind of tap into that energy is because they don't want to mess anything up with the show. So I don't know if they're thinking that it could, if things go bad, then will that affect how they are on the show with each other? So, I commend them for that because that would be probably the mature thing to do. I don't think it's generally good to date who you work with, right? I think because you could take a chance that things could go bad and now you're both stuck with each other at work, and that's usually not that's usually not a good situation. But so right now I'm getting no, but it's not because there's not that chemistry there, because it's there. It's there. And I do get that eventually I do think that they will be in a romantic relationship with each other. I just think they're just taking it slow. They don't want to mess that up right now. So I think you guys, whoever the fans, that are picking up that there's some chemistry there, you're right. There definitely is chemistry. It's undeniable. Absolutely. But I think they're just waiting. So, that's good. That's kind of that's the mature thing to do, I think. So, I give them props for that. All right. I'm going to look up there's one other person that somebody asked about, and I just, before I ask about it, okay, so this is a true crime. So somebody asked about Samantha Murphy from Ballarat, Victoria, Australia. And they didn't really say what, but I'm looking up online. I kind of had a feeling that it was maybe a true crime, like a missing person. And it does look like that's sad. It does look like it's a missing person. So I may do a separate video. I may do a separate video on that because I like to do, cases like on missing people or whatever. I like to do that separate, separate. I feel like it deserves, those missing people, they deserve to have their own reading and time. So I like to do those separate. So I have it on my list. I will ask about that. I'll probably do it on a pre-recorded video. Then I'll see the chat again. I've missed the Henry and Natalie part. Well, Anna, you can go back and just watch the replay, and you'll see it. And I also have a playlist of a Henry playlist. So I've read about Henry, quite often. So you can pull up any of those. And in my videos, I try to go back within a few days after I do a live stream. I try to go back and I have to re-listen to the recording and then put in the timestamps of when I'm talking. But in this particular video, so if you go to any of the previous live videos, go in the description on the video and then click on more, and then you'll see the timestamps. And that way you can get right to the Henry questions that I asked on previous videos. Oh, you do? You have family in Australia, Canberra. I'm not real familiar with, Australia. But so you guys are you familiar? Have you heard about this Samantha Murphy disappearance? I don't really know much about it. I'm going to have to read up. I'm going to have to research because I have not heard of this case, but I feel like maybe in the next, couple weeks, I will try to do some research, and then I'll do like a pre-recorded, just a separate video just on that person. For that type of thing, because it's so sad, that I like to give those videos like their own time, if that makes sense. So, and dedicate just time just to that. So I don't like to ask about that in a live. I just feel like it's better if I just focus, in a pre-recorded video. But anyway, that's what I got. That's all I had on my list. So um, it was really good to see you guys, and look for my Karen Reed video. That's going to be uploaded sometime tonight, maybe within the next hour or so. But that's a crazy, crazy case. And if you're not familiar with it, just type in the search bar on YouTube, Karen Reed. It's READ, like I read a book, but it's just, it's all over YouTube, all over social media. So, and the trial's currently going on, very insane case. So that's what I would recommend doing to try to find out more information. There's quite a few YouTubers out there that have included a lot of the stuff that happened in this case, which does not even make sense. So I'm not going to go in and do it here because, like I said, I'm going to upload that video later. But yes, you too, Donna. You guys have a wonderful evening, wonderful rest of your Sunday, and have a great week coming up. And I will see you guys on the next video. So bye, guys. It was good to hang out with you. Bye. Lots of love. Bye.